All right, back for another week. I got some stuff done this week. Lots of stuff done this week. So let's jump into it. I think. Let's see. Got everything written down. I think. So first and foremost, new character model. So been playing around with some Mix-A-Mo's, and yeah, this is going to be the new character for now. I like it a little better. Seems to be more fluid. I was able to get a 60 frames per second animation going. So yeah, no. So this is going to be the dude for a while. So we're just running around the terrain, kind of showing his feet do well. I tweaked some things with the character movement controller. Feels a little bit more fluid. So this is this guy for now. We'll use him until I can find a better avatar, or I don't think I could ever write one myself. It's too artsy. It's very artsy. Not very artsy. So we'll just run around, look at this guy for a little while. I think that's what the whole point here was. Then, at some point, I think we're going to go to the ship. Probably when I get done jumping around the terrain. Which we did. Or not. So, a couple of things. Did I do that yet? Added an auto run feature, so Numlock now is an auto run toggle. Left shift is a sprint toggle, so you can just toggle between walk and run, and sprint and run, and auto run, and lots of fun stuff. I guess that's what I'm showing off here, if I remember. Maybe this is last week's video, so just playing around here with I got auto run. Well, we have auto run. We're playing it as auto run. Let's see, what else do we have? I think, we're going to go to ship finally. It's going to be exciting. I need to move that exit button. It's too close to the ship button. Alright, we're going to the ship. And I think the first thing we'll take a look at is the entertainment. There's entertainment now. Looking out here. Now I put some. No, I didn't do that yet. I'm not going to say that. That's next week. We'll expose. Got a couple of animated bobs here. Tunes. They just do their thing until they escape the ship, which I haven't figured out a foolproof way to prevent them from escaping. Because eventually they do an upward or downward animation, and like you can see, he's just kind of hopping right through the ship. So I got to figure that out. But there he is still, kind of hanging on. And she did something. She got stuck in the terrain here. I got to do some work here, but they're just doing their thing for now, hanging out in the control room, or not. Bobs. Just bobs. So, and he's just gonna do his thing. Break dance in the middle of nowhere. Middle of space. Alright. So I think the next thing I'm gonna kind of demo here is that we have animated cursors. So I've acquired an asset off the Unity store to do some animated cursor stuff and things. When we're done watching the bobs, I guess that's what we'll do. Take a look at that. There's animated cursor. Alright, here we go. I think I'm prepping up for it. Alright, I've had enough of the bobs. We're gonna go look at this guy. Alright, so now you notice when you hold over something that's animated, you get a little thumbprint, and it's animated. Not a lot of, but when you're interacting, you have animated cursors now. Show kind of, there's something to do there. There's something to click. That works on the screens, that works on interactive panels, that works on the mining beacons. Anywhere where you can interact with something, you're going to get an animated cursor now. Not final state, but just better than it was, I think. It was a little cog before. Now it's kind of showing you that. And then when you hold down, you get a little radial progress. All right, we launched the ship. So I think that means we're going to go take a look at the new mining platforms. Now, these have gotten even more love this week, but this is last week, so they're much better. I think the last time we looked at the platforms, we had the Stairways to Heaven. That should have sailed. We fixed that bug. So once I find some place to put down a beacon, I think I'm going to do that, and then we'll take a look at the mining platform, which is far superior to the state it was in last week. And even this week, it's even better, but wait till next week for that. And I'm late today. I apologize. I've been doing some home remodeling, so I got a little busy yesterday with painting and didn't really want to get on the keyboard and mouse with the painted up fingers. So one day late. Sorry about that. Yeah, so we've got this, and you'll notice that the stairs will stop when they get to the top of the platform now. Yay! The Stairways to Heaven. This gets remodeled. This gets a lot of rework. Beacons in general and platforms get rework next week. So wait for that. And there's my jetpack on the last step. I'm trying to figure that out. So you're just gonna stop the. Yay! Yeah, I gotta figure that out. I know what the problem is. I'm not in the mood to fix it right now. We just like the jetpack up. That's cool. Anyway, yeah, so the ladders work now. They don't just bridge off into nowhere. I believe I added some sound effects once the platform is fully built, kind of as a motorized sound, so you know it's kind of ready to do some processing. So the next step would be to get the mining nodes to leave the ship, land on that mining platform, and start mining. Again, next week there's a lot of changes to how beacons and platforms work. So yeah, so we'll see where that goes from there. But yeah. I think I'm going to run around a little bit here. Oh yeah, resources. So yeah, we got resources now. So the survey drone, it used to be generally cosmetic. It would just fly around the surface and stop and do some nothing really, and then fly off to the next little area. So the terrain gets broken. The terrain gets broken into a 20 by 20 grid of terrain chunks, is what I call them. And each chunk has a survey node location. The survey node location has the potential to have a resource somewhere on that terrain chunk. And it's based off of an algorithm where I sample the colors in the terrain chunk, and then I have a bunch of potential resources that can be on a planet of this type, which is Martian. So I have a list of materials that are possibly found on this, and then I have a color associated with those particular resources. So I do an algorithm where I grab all the colors in one terrain chunk, and then I throw away anything that's in the 90th percentile. I believe it's 90th. Anyway, if it's close to I take an average color for the whole planet. So in this case, you're going to know some shade of brown. So anything within a certain distance from the average color for the planet gets thrown out, and if there's whatever's left, then gets evaluated against the list of colors that are that are matched with a resource. So, and then on top of that, each resource has a for a Martian planet, for instance, diamonds. There's a potential to have diamonds here, carbon diamonds, etc. Diamonds have a very low percentage, so even if there's a color match on this terrain, there still goes through a probability RNG to determine whether the resource actually exists. And, you can see here the harvester has discovered, is really the word I use in code, is discovered these particular resources embedded in these terrain chunks. Now, right now, these terrain chunks are kind of in a straight line, and I'm gonna randomize that a little bit in a coming release. But right now, so you can see that for each of these terrain chunks, we're running up on a resource has been detected, and it is matched some color in that terrain chunk matched the color associated with these particular resources, and the probability check also succeeded. So it's not particularly. This is, for instance, this carbon, which I believe, this is a carbon resource. So I believe that's carbon. That might have been oil prior to the rewrite of oil. So yeah, anyway, oil gets a rewrite next week. It'll look more like oil, right? So yeah, so then now these resources are here. You can see that you can go up and build your mining platform on top of it. Now each resource is sized, the actual game object or the graphic, the model representing the resource is scaled according to the amount of resource that's available in harvesting. So you don't just find a resource and just harvest it until you have millions and millions. There's a little issue with my stairs, I guess. So each pool or each terrain chunk resource has a limited amount of resources that you can mine from. So you can't just drop down a mine and say I've got carbon for days or forever. So yeah. And I'm trying my best to land. There we go. Got on it. And there's my turbo lift at the top. So yeah, this is carbon. I believe. Let's see. This has changed quite a bit because I found that in practice I was scaling these resources too big. And this is like, I believe that's just straight. I'm calling that soil, but essentially it's just gonna be rocks. You're gonna be able to harvest rock. For what purpose, I don't know yet. It's going to happen someday. So yeah, this is a rock node. And I think I just wanted to show that you can build into the side of a resource. And you'll still be able to harvest it. So yeah, that's rock. So again, this has gotten some love this last week. The rocks aren't as, the resources aren't as tall or as voluminous as they are now. More like things you would find in another game when you're trying to run around the surface harvesting things. Yeah, so I think I'm just going to play with that. Again, that oil, I believe that first resource we put a mine on was oil. And I've done a lot of work. I'm still not 100% happy with it this week, but we'll get to that next week. So I think I'm getting closer. I'm a little bit closer this week, not the week I'm doing the video here for, but I'm pretty close now to being able to get the harvesters to leave the ship and land on the platforms and begin their mining. So essentially the tiers of mining drones will have capacity limits. So they'll come down and they'll mine either until the resource is completely saturated or the mining node's capacity is reached, and then it'll shoot back up to the ship, deliver the payload, which will then go into your storage, which will then be available for the production, processing, and production, and whatever else you need to do with it. So it's a chain of things, and I'm just one step at a time. So eventually we'll actually have something. We'll actually be able to go and harvest some resources off the planet and get them shuffled off to your ship, and then you'll actually be able to produce resources. So the first thing would be to refine the resources in the processing center, and then ultimately, once you've got refined resources, you'll build things in the manufacturing area of your ship. You see that little node? I think we've talked about that before. That is completely revamped this week as well. So look forward to that. And it looks a lot better this week. Another asset I acquired off the Unity store gave me some interesting options for things there. So I've kind of migrated that to a better visualization. So that's it. I mean, we're just going to follow this guy for a little while, it looks like, but this is pretty much all the work that was done week before last. Now, there's one more bit. I'm going to run around. I think I'm going to get tired of chasing him in a minute and go back to the ship, and I'll show you something that's kind of a preview for something that's not in. It's not in this week. It probably won't be in for some time, although I will eventually do it. We're going to go back to the ship now. What are we going to do? Just sit here. Not sure what we're doing. Take a break. Yeah, so once we go back to the ship, I'll kind of give you the sneak peek of something that's coming when I get some time. When I'm not working on other things. Juggling a lot of things. Day job. This job. Remodeling. Other stuff. So I'm trying to get at least some small amount of work done every day. I'm doing builds. I'm trying to do them every day. Generally, I get them done every couple of days. At this point, there's not a lot to do, so it's not. I'm just building to get the build pipeline working properly and efficiently. Okay, so we're back in the ship, and here's the kind of preview. I'll throw this out, although there's not much behind it yet. But I thought it was cool. So I told you I was playing around with Mixamo, so I went and got a bunch of character models, and I think, falling through the ship. I've got to fix that. I don't think I have that fixed yet, even this week. But I got a bunch of character models that seemed like they might be interesting. That's the default character model for the controller I'm using. But we've got, here's the female version of the blue robot. And so so what eventually my thought is here, until I figure out what long-term avatar looks like, I'm just gonna write in a little bit here. You can come in this drone bay here and just swap out which character model you're using. So and right now they're all just hanging around doing different animations, but yeah, you'll be able to come in here and just hey, I want to be that guy, so I'll run around as that guy for a while. That's coming. What I'm in some time. It's not top priority, but I want to get these characters in here as kind of a sneak preview, because I think there's going to be an element of that long term in the game. It's going to be about upgrading your avatar. Maybe perchance to be able to visit different planet surfaces. Maybe I can go to a Martian planet because I'm a robot, or I have an exoskeleton, but I can't go to a water planet, or yada yada. There's thought behind that, but I think eventually there will be some sort of avatar progression that will manifest as a separate skin for your character controller here. And I think that was about all I did last week, so yeah. I'm just gonna run around the planet, I guess, for a little bit longer, and then call it a video. Again, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff next week that's gonna be really cool. And yeah, just stay tuned. I know I'm dragging you along. Look, hey, check it out. This is cool, but wait till next week. Can't wait to see this stuff next week. And that's true. It's true because I'm, a gamer at heart. I just want to make something I would like to play. So, just one guy. I'm trying my best to get things moving, but yeah. Got a day job and other things. But, we're gonna make progress. We're gonna get this playable at some point, no doubt. No doubt. So I think that's it. Each time I turn the character up at the character, the camera up at the character, I think that's it. All right. Stay tuned. See you next week.